Hello. The camera quality looks different, like not as bright. But yes, so my camera today is indisposed just for today. So after the next 2 videos, we'll be back to your usual scheduled programming. But yeah, coming to you back with a get ready with me. Oh my gosh, I'm going out tonight. I'm so excited. I need a cocktail. Like, yeah, we need the Holy Spirit, but we also need cocktails up in this. If you see any sweat patches, I don't think you will see any, but listen, it's freaking hot out here. It's weird because it's like cloudy but hot. Anyway, Shaq, today we're going to be doing a Get Ready With Me with Ali Annabelle. And obviously, as you guys know, I am doing the Naked series, but I also wanted to touch on some trending topics that I really want to talk about. I haven't really done a video where I've compiled different topics into one video. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that today. I'm going to be curling my hair with my Remington curling wand. You guys know I love this. Ooh, I don't see this ending well. Ooh, child. Girl. Oghosa, baby girl.
Girl, baby girl.
Baby girl, no. Computer actually says no. I don't know how I'm going to curl that. This is a 12-inch unit. And I did want it to be a very short bob, but today I want it to be a little bit like curly / wavy. So it's 1 bundle and a half. I'm just gonna kind of bump the shorter bits, and then as it gets longer, I'm gonna curl it as it goes up. So I used a bundle and a half of 12 inches Brazilian straight, and then at the top I've got a closure, which I really miss. It's just so low maintenance. Oh, I love it. We stand. And I glued this onto a wig cap. It's simple. It literally took me an hour. The hair's like scarily affordable. I think the 10 inches is like $13 or something like that. And you guys have been so like here for this bob, and I really appreciate it because I haven't had a bob in the longest time. All of the links to Ali and Annabelle will be below, as well as a coupon code. And I'm just gonna kind of just like, it's gonna get there. Oh my gosh, did I think this through? I mean, these bits will get wavy, but I think that, like, if it's that, it won't. I should have got my small straighteners. I could have just curled it with that, but listen, here is where we find ourselves. What else did I want to say? Thank you to everyone for your like recent comments and Twitter DMs and everything regarding my self-harming video, and also how I've been feeling about YouTube recently. I think this bit will curl. Yeah, it's long enough. How I've been feeling about YouTube recently. You guys are really sweet, and I was reading you guys' comments today, and a lot of people have been saying things along the lines of like that I should take a break, and maybe you're right. I mean, I feel like I didn't ever consider taking a break because I literally can't. I'm going through a big, like probably the biggest life change of the last 2 years. Whoa, that is actually like, that puts things into perspective. Yeah, I kind of want like a half little curl thing like that, but a little bit stronger, please. Yeah, one of the biggest life changes like of my life for the last like 3 years actually. So I'm saving a lot for that, and because of that, it's like, wow, literally can't stop working. Get me off of this roller coaster. But luckily, even though I clearly do need a break, it's not too bad because I genuinely do love talking about like the stuff that I care about to you guys, and I love creating content. And if I didn't, like, I guess I wouldn't do it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be able to like kind of take a step back because I have an assistant now. Yay! I have an assistant, and I don't know where to look. There, yeah. I have an assistant now, and I also have a video editor who's gonna be editing most of my videos. So I think that will help. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. No. I feel like that will help alleviate the workload, because obviously like you guys were like, oh, so we can tell in your voice, take a break. And it's like, I can't. But yeah, so because I have like an extra 2 like members like on my team, which is really cool now, and they're lovely people. I just adore them. So because they're helping, it shouldn't be as strenuous and stressful as it has been, because I mean, like, doing this on your own and dealing with all of the things that I have to deal with, it just takes up a lot of mental energy. energy that I could be putting into my YouTube videos and creating interesting content. But I can't because I have to think about logistics and when I'm gonna shoot, when I'm gonna do this, and it's a lot. So now that I've got them here, it should be a lot better. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna film some videos in bulk and take a break next week so that while I'm taking a break, content will still be coming out. So yes, I will hopefully take a break next week, but next week is also when the massive life change may happen. So who knows what's gonna happen, but it'll be fine. I'll figure out a way to take a break, and it's really nice of you guys to be so like adamant that I do that. Now on to Afro Nation. Oh, the FOMO is so real. But it's so funny. I was speaking to one of my friends, Hannah Ajala. Hey Hannah, if you're watching, she works for, can't see a thing. She works for BBC Africa. This hair's gonna come together. It will. We've been through worse times than this. Ow, 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 ow. She works for BBC Africa, and I went to go see her. We had some dinner. We were speaking about it, and she was like, were you actually there though? Because it sounds like you were there, because I got such a good feel of the vibe. Like, what I felt from the vibe was that everyone was dressed amazingly. Everybody, okay, not everybody, but most people had their bums out. Like, I just saw cake in every single Instagram story. Cake. It was a lot. And I also just clocked that like everyone was just living their best lives. It was just like Africa Town, basically. It was just, yeah, Afro Nation. They summed it up, like just loads of black people in one place, the energy being on fire, the outfits being on fire, outfit changes in and out. Like, nobody knows how to do an outfit change like a black girl. I'm sorry, Hannahs and Lucy's. I do love you guys. And they won't just do an outfit change, they'll do a wig change because the wig has to go with the outfit, do you know what I mean? They may even do an eyeshadow change because the eyeshadow color maybe needs to coordinate with the outfit. Like, it's a whole like equation, like there's a science to this. And I also clocked that there was just bare boys, just buff daddies everywhere, and just just being tired. Because there's just no time. Depending how you do it, my best friend was there and she had a much more relaxing holiday, but there's just no time to relax. Because I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And so I would be at every motive, and it's not even just being reckless, like I'm just a very sociable person. And if you're a sociable person, being on a holiday like that is pretty difficult because I can only imagine there's so many things to be doing. There's so many, like, maybe like your friend over there has a really nice villa and they want to have dinner, and then there's another like pool party, there's another like boat party there, and you're before you know what's been happening, you have about 25 minutes sleep. Like, it can happen. That's going to be the life I have in when I go to Africa the end of this year. When I say Africa, I really do mean like around Africa. But yeah, so I don't know, I did feel FOMO, but like I'm going in Ghana. I'm going to the Ghana one in December, so I'm just like, yeah, it's fine, I'll wait, I'll firm it. But it was, yeah, the Instagram stories were amazing. At one point it was just like, okay, are you guys coming home now? Like, Shebi, it's enough. Like, Shebi, you've enjoyed, like, it's enough, come home. And also just living very vicariously, like, through other people's Instagram stories, like, one for the boat, and I'm going left because everyone's going left in the Instagram stories. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to go with it and roll with the punches and act as if you're there. And I really respect everyone who had consistent Afro Nation content because it meant that I could enjoy. So I'm interested, like, I'm so excited because I've never been to Ghana before. I'm excited to see, like, not even just Nigerian diaspora, but everyone just in one place. Like, I can only imagine the electricity in the air must be something else. Davido can't perform, but I mean, I've been knowing this because I went to go see him in the O2 last year, and it was literally like having holiday in hell. It was just terrible, and he shouts. He just performs as if he's on his own, like he's doing karaoke. It's odd. But yes, so I'm excited to go to that. I'm excited to bring you guys along. I will be doing content 101. It's going to be amazing. Okay, on to YEWANDE. Okay, so YEWANDE did, I'm so tired of talking about this, but I wanted to talk about this. So, I mean, regardless of whether I talk about it or not, it doesn't change the fact that it's happening. Can you guys even see my hair? Because I can't. But yes, so YEWANDE did an interview on, I believe, BBC One Extra. If you don't live in the UK, you may not have any clue as to what I'm talking about. So yeah, sorry. Basically, YEWANDE was on Love Island, and now that she's out, she's doing a lot of press. And one of the press that she did was Reese Parkinson. of BBC One Extra fame, and I think he asked quite good questions. He asked stuff that like we all want to know. He was talking to her about, you know, her experience as a black woman in the house, her experience especially with Sheriff. As far as I'm concerned, is the Sheriff of Queensbury. I did say that. I said what I said.
I said what I said.
So he was asking her about how like she related to him, and she said that as soon as he walked into the house, she knew that he wasn't going to pick her because she felt like the vibe that this is not verbatim, but she basically said the vibe she was getting from him made her feel like he only liked light-skinned girls, and a lot of the time black men like light-skinned women. I mean, at this point, like, I'm watching it thinking, okay, she hasn't said anything like revolutionary. She hasn't said anything wild like, oh, we should kill our monarchs. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't understand why there was such vitriol like aimed towards her, especially on Twitter. But you know, ashy black men always find a way to assemble. So then she also mentioned that like she knew that he would pick Amber, who was right beside me and beside her. When she was speaking, I honestly felt so much in her heart. Like, in fact, I remember not wanting to watch Love Island at a point when she was on it, because I was just like, not gonna lie, I'm really not here to just be triggered, because you feel like you're watching your whole dating life play out on screen in the worst way, because it's that whole thing of just having your self-esteem get battered because perhaps you're not being chosen by people that you'd want to date or you'd be interested in, purely because you're too dark-skinned or your hair's too nappy or your nose is too wide. Like, we also have to remember the complexities that come with not having the stereotypical body shape of the image of an over-sexualized black woman. So when you're dealing with all of that, plus the fact that she's from Dublin, so she's probably had even less diversity than we've been graced with living in London, where we have that luxury of, like, what is it, 53% of, so there's 3% of black people in the UK, I believe, and half of those black people live in London. So you can only imagine the triggering situation she's having to deal with, probably being one of very few black people in schools or just any space, really, just constantly living and operating in white spaces, plus the fact that she's a scientist, and we all know that there needs to be way more black women scientists. So she's probably having to deal with that complexity as well. And so she was talking about all of this, and a lot of black men on Twitter, not all of them I may add, there's some lovely ones, but a lot of them were just saying that she should be quiet because she's going to fumble her bag as an influencer or as a person of interest in the public eye if she doesn't kind of like sanitize her voice for like the white masses or white media. And I just want black men to pick one. So I've just finished painting my face. I use the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette, which I hate / love. The lilac colours are good, everything else is quite trash. Going back to the YEWANDE thing, I do love the fact that she didn't, as I said, like, sanitize her voice for the white gaze. The fact that she was authentic to her storytelling, like, this is her lived experience. We've seen people like Samira, the one with the fried leave out. She's kind of made her voice very palatable for white audiences when it comes to talking about race on Love Island. YEWANDE didn't do that one bit. She said, no, thank you. I'm gonna be real. And I love that. And to be honest, like, if black men want to say that is going to impact her influencer bag, I mean, have you spoken to a black influencer in your life? Do you know that, like, white influencers tend to get paid more anyway, regardless of what a black influencer talks about or not? You know, like, fashion and beauty influencers who don't create controversial content still are underpaid, my G. So whether or not she's talking about this stuff, it's almost a non-starter, to be honest. Perhaps her speaking about this stuff can actually enrich. I really don't understand why, like, black men, not all, a lot, lack so much empathy when it comes to these issues. Like, and that's why part of me didn't want to speak about this, because, like, I feel like I speak about this all the time, and it's just such a shame that, especially here in the UK, I don't know what aunties really be teaching their sons. Like, it's almost like, auntie, like, why don't you teach your son to love black women? What's going on? Anyway, perhaps they're too busy, like, bleaching their skin and stealing jollof rice from weddings they weren't invited to. to teach their sons, you know, how to respect black women. I really don't know. But it's almost like I don't get how you can be so disrespectful when your mum is black and your mum used to be dark skinned. That was out pocket. Oh, child. That was so refreshing. I mean, One Extra is a decent place to have this discussion because, you know, Reese Parkinson is very much for the culture. He constantly talks about these issues, and he's not someone who's mixed race, but like only mixed race for the culture when it's cool, like the square-headed beige boys from Love Island from last year. Those ones with the hard faces. He's not like that. He's very much like authentically involved in the culture and these discussions. He wants to be involved. I don't know. I wonder if that was the best place. I actually wish she would have been with black women having that discussion. And a little bit of admission, I did hit up YEWANDE, I think on the evening that she left Love Island, I think the next day, I hit up her people and I was just like, I would really love to like just have like a YouTuber brunch that's filmed and just like have like cute like coffees and pancakes and stuff and just talk about her time on Love Island and, you know, how she found everything, blah 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 blah. And I heard nothing. And I've also heard from other like online black publications specifically, they also tried to get in touch with her people and no one got back to them. And like, this is the issue when you have like, it's not even her fault. It's usually when you've got like PR companies like looking after you, depending on who's looking after you. I mean, usually it's white owned, and usually they like to only push their clients onto like white media, basically, like renowned white media, like, you know, your BBCs, your Vogues, your L's, your ITVs, all of that good stuff there. But it's like, okay, yeah, that's great when you have a black client who's actually invested in talking about black issues. Like, it doesn't make sense as to why you would want to shield them from going on to black owned publications, black owned spaces, black owned YouTube channels, working with black bloggers, discussing issues that are pertinent to what they already are interested in. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think YEWANDE probably has no idea that this is even happening. I don't know if she's in charge of her DMs or whatever, but I think people have really been trying to get in contact with her so that they can have talks like this. It doesn't have to be confrontational. I think it can be very safe. It's just disheartening when black owned spaces feel like they have to come second to white owned spaces when oftentimes we have just as much influence. Didn't Glamour close because nobody was reading it? Do you know what I mean? Like, just because it's a magazine doesn't mean it's more important than black owned spaces or black owned magazines or black owned blogs or whatever. This is the lip combo of life, man. I'm using French Toast, the Avon lipstick, then I'm using NYX's lingerie glitter palettes, and then I'm using the 3D Hydra lip gloss from Kiko in colour 05 with a NYX lip liner that I don't know where it is. And that is the look. We're done. I mean, yeah, I'm happy she said it. I'm really happy that we've got someone who's authentically a black woman. Yeah, with YEWANDE, I'm very happy that she was open about it. Do you know, I'm gonna change my top. Yeah. Almost finished. I'm just gonna like finish up the hair, add some accessories, and then we're good to go. This top is from Shein, by the way. I feel like in terms of the housemates who've been on the show previously, apart from Ovi, I think it's been hard to find people who've been very authentically black. In terms of, obviously we know blackness isn't a monolith and there's no one way to be black. There's certain cultural things that we embrace and there's certain ways to embrace blackness. Black people do. It's just authentic. And I'm sorry, but those ones with the hard faces, Josh and Wes, like, for me it's very weird how like they just pick and choose when they want to be black. They just ride blackness like it's horses on Old Town Road. It's just very much like, I'll pick and choose because as soon as YEWANDE is behaving a way they don't like, they're all on social media calling her bitter and just use it. For me, that's a very violent word towards a black woman when you call them bitter, especially when it has to do with romance. It's coded. There's no other way to put it. It's very, very coded. I think Samira as well has just behaved in a way. I mean, that leave out, that 3-month leave out that she had. I mean, Shabby, they told you that you'd be in there for 3 months, sis, in that house for 3 months, and you come in there with your leave out. No wonder it was just looking so crispy towards the end. Like the leave out almost left the house before she did. It was just so sad to watch. So I'm not surprised that she has kind of like just been very negative towards YEWANDE and towards having conversations about this. In general, I'm super happy for her. I hope that nothing gets in the way of her bag. I hope that she finds love. I hope that all of these ashy black men with mums that used to be dark skinned, I just hope that they too start to embrace their skin color and women and just empathize with black women. It's not that hard. It's really not. But I understand, you know, like somebody was supposed to be looking after you and taking care of you, but instead, like, they're so in Ashobi for weddings that they weren't invited to. I get it. It's a struggle, man. But yeah, all of the links to Ali Annabelle will be below. I just love, like, it's just so cute, innit? I hope you like today's look. I feel like I might need some jewelry. I might put that on later. But yeah, this is serving me. It's serving me. But yeah, all the links to this unit, well, these bundles and this closure will be below, and I will be back again on Wednesday because this is gonna come out on Sunday. Sorry for the quality, but I'll be back to my usual HD self soon. Bye.